Hey, fans of the Monday Movie Club, and a ho, 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 right? We're
You,
very close
you,
to
you.
Christmas right now. Okay. This week, Amy chose that great Christmas movie, Saturday Night Fever, from 1977, which is number 232 on the Franken list. So I watched it quite a while ago, probably in 2021.
You were gonna
I'm
say 19.
Yeah, 1921. I'm Frank Gaffney. With us, Joel. No Saturday Night Fever paraphernalia back there.
No.
Mark Wotitz Gartner, who has the young and the young and the fat John Travolta. Um, like Elvis used to have the fat Elvis and that, right?
Wasn't that
Uh,
a soap opera, The Young and the Fat?
yeah. Cringer and Goldfuck and Annie King back in the kitchen where she belongs. Wait, and I also have Sasha here. Let's see, there he is.
Sasha.
What's up, Sasha?
He he's taken to well, he may laugh. It's like, ugh. It's a habit I didn't want to start, but he's annoying.
Whenever you
Okay,
sit down,
aim. What?
is it whenever you sit down at the computer?
Yeah. I'm like, and he starts scratching my arm, and I'm like, oh, good Lord. It's just easier just to pick him up.
Cute.
Okay, aim. Why Sad Night Fever?
Uh, for the same reason as most of my movies and most of my movies coming up. It's a movie I remember seeing many, many years ago, and I just wanted to revisit it.
And I'm assuming you've seen this more than once.
I don't remember. I'm sure I
Really?
did. No, I don't remember how many times I've seen it. If I saw it more than once, maybe three.
Yeah.
It wasn't
Well,
a
I
movie I
remember
recall
even
watching.
seeing, I remember even seeing they released the PG version.
Yeah, I remember that too. And I don't
And
know how I would have gone to see this in 1977 unless someone sneaked me in.
right. But the PG version, I'm like, this is not an appropriate message for 13-year-olds.
I do remember
All
seeing
right.
that
So
though.
yeah, because the soundtrack was such a big hit and
Oh
all the
my
kids were
God.
listening to it. So of
Oh my
course they
God.
wanted to see the movie. And traditionally they would make a version that would be sold to TV. So it was
Right,
already there. So
right.
all they had to do was make a few adjustments and then they re-released it. So here's the plot. John Travolta, in his first leading role, plays Tony Manero, and he lives at home, works as a paint store clerk in Brooklyn, New York, and he lives for the weekend when he and his friends go to the local disco and dance the night away. Um, this one was huge, obviously, in 1977, and this was right my era. I was 19 years old, and not the life I was living at 19, but it was New York, and this was going on, but I'd like to think it wasn't going on like this everywhere. But so this and the 1-2 punch of this and Grease launched John Travolta into superstardom. He was still on Welcome Back, Kotter, right, at the time.
At the
In
time of
77, right?
in 77, but I think by the time Grease came out, I think he had left and they had replaced him with um oh, what's his face? Roger Rabbit.
Had somebody or other.
Yeah, anyway.
Yeah.
When he left,
Um,
I remember every week when it would say, get so excited because I love
and but also a horrible precedent was set. He was never able to duplicate these two successes of this magnitude, the
Oh, come
biggest movies
on.
of his career.
Battlefield Earth was a huge bomb.
And yes, Fiction certainly brought him to the spotlight in 1994. He certainly has had a whole entire career, but nothing of this magnitude. Saturday Night is based on an article published in New York Magazine, Tribal Rights of the New Saturday Night. And Robert Stigwood bought the rights to it. Why am I giving the background? I don't care. He also had a record label, RSO, and the Bee Gees were one of his acts, and he decided to have the Bee Gees provide the music, and that's where Night Fever came from. But it's so funny in the movie when they're dancing to Night Fever in the movie, they actually weren't dancing to Night
it.
Fever
No kidding.
because it hadn't been written yet.
Oh,
I'm
that
like,
I didn't
oh
know.
my God, you are offbeat right now. Oliver.
Yes, it was driving me crazy.
Oh yeah, yeah. So they were not dancing to that song. I think they were dancing to "You Should Be Dancing" or one of the other Bee Gees things. Anyway, the double album spent 24 weeks at #1 on the Billboard 200 and was in the top 200 for 2 years. Huge, huge mega hit. But the film is far from perfect. Some of the scenes now are so awkward and problematic 40 years later. The language is coarse, the violence a little unnecessary, and the misogyny is off the charts. As much as that probably was going on, and it certainly makes it seem like the women are willing participants for the most case. But it's a very honest exploration of being young and horny and broke and filled with these intense feelings you can't express and you don't understand. So these little delinquent kids are stuck until Tony sees there might be a better way. And Karen Lynn Gorney, with her perfect New York accent, was actually at the time she was on All My Children with no New York accent. And she was a pretty big deal on All My Children. And
There
the
were a few words she said where I thought, okay, this is bad. That accent.
and and the whole sense of, like Working Girl, which we saw, where it's like you have to get rid of that New York thing and to be a bigger success. And then to see that she is having the same relationship with her boyfriend, who's further up the ladder, as it were, than she is. It was touching. It was touching, and certainly John Travolta's journey to being this different man is heartfelt, and then ruined by staying alive.
Huh.
And this really, his performance is so beautiful, a well-deserved Oscar nomination, and he really is perfect in this part, and so touching, beautiful. I took a very few notes while I was watching the movie. Staying Alive, that opening number. Who directed this?
John Badham.
John Badham. The perfect pulse of the movie, right there. That opening number, beautiful.
Yeah.
And I was a little sad when the gays saw them on the street and they were like, "No, just keep walking. Don't worry, they'll be fine." Such horrible memories for me of doing that exact same thing coming across any group of boys. And then, are you a nice girl or a cunt? Those are the only two options, obviously. Really. All right.
Annie.
Anybody? So I love how she wakes him up. That's what I wrote. I don't remember what that was about.
Love how she wakes him up.
Oh, yeah. I love how she wakes up John Travolta. Here he is going along thinking his life is perfect. He has this whole routine and then he's like, "Wait a minute, there's something else?" So that was a beautiful moment to me that she could spark that in him.
The end of the
Before-
movie it really brought the movie up. It was a beautiful ending.
Yeah. Yeah. So it does have a lot of good things, but ultimately for me, it's a 3-star movie. It certainly is of its time. Hopefully it was embellished because it was a little crazy and melodramatic for sure.
Well, you
But
know the author of the news article later claimed that he made the whole thing up.
oh, okay. Well,
Yeah.
there
Oh,
you
wow.
go. But again, I definitely think this kind of thing was going on for sure. And he embellished, obviously. But John Travolta, his star power is undeniable in this movie. Good Lord. How you did not fall in love with him watching this movie.
Yeah.
So 3 stars for me. Annie, had you seen it before?
Yeah, and I seen it not in 1977, obviously, like Amy said, we were too young to get into it. Um, Seen it on TV, so the PG version, I guess, and then a few years back when it was on Phantom on the big screen, we went with a group and had seen it on the big screen.
That's
So
fun. That's fun.
yeah, I think that was probably my first time seeing it rated R and everything. So it was good. It was nice. And because of you guys in this group, I definitely noticed more like the camera angle and the lighting. And I was like, oh, look, it's like the shots of the feet and like the up camera when he's looking at himself in the mirror and stuff.
Right, right.
Yeah. So that
I mean, wait, I want to say now, you just made me think of it again. For months, I would go around going, add a cup, add a cup, because of this movie, not Dog Day
Right.
Afternoon.
so I definitely saw it, more artistically
Yeah,
this time watching it. So it was very cool. And I kept saying throughout the movie, gosh, they're only 19. Like it's such a, you know, they don't know where they're going. It's 19 and you get, no way out. And I love that moment when in the paint store when his boss says to him, like, you've got a future here. This guy's been with me for
Yes.
and like you see it happening, like,
yeah,
and
yeah,
it like nothing's said, but like in his head, he's
Yeah.
like, holy shit, like
yeah,
I don't want this life, this isn't,
yeah.
and the line, like, they're like, there are different ways of killing yourself without killing yourself.
Yeah.
That was a great line, So yeah, it was good. And the dance scenes, maybe a little too much, a little too long, some of them, but like he did a great job with them. The dancing.
Yeah, and he even heard from Fred Astaire, who said that he had some fabulous moves in the movie.
Nice.
Yeah.
Of
So
course, probably Fred wanted to sleep with him too.
Sure.
was it all choreographed? Did he come up with some of it, or did he?
No, there definitely was a choreographer. I
Yeah.
definitely remember seeing scenes of them rehearsing and stuff. So
I forget the person's name, but they're listed in the credits as a choreographer.
yeah, yeah.
One
And
of the,
but Travolta also comes from a Broadway background. He had toured in
Yeah.
Greece, and so he was definitely a musical kid.
One of
so-
the trivia things I read was somebody, I don't know if it was the cinematographer or the director, wanted when he was doing his big number solo in the club, wanted close-ups, mostly close-ups, and he threatened, according to the trivia, to quit the movie if they were going to just do all close-ups and not show him doing the dance.
Yeah.
Right, right, because he could do it.
Yeah.
And that,
This was no Flash Chance body double.
and that's an unfortunate thing with most of today's movie musicals is that they don't give you those
The full view. Yeah.
Wait
We'll be
until next
discussing that
week's
next week.
review.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
next week's different story, but
Yeah.
Yeah, and I thought like it worked for him so well, like to go from the Sweat Hogs in a group, a gang kind of thing, into this,
Right.
and then into Grease. It kind of
Yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah. All
um,
little gang stuff.
yeah, and he's like the cool one, definitely.
Yeah, there was even one moment at the table when he was being Joe Cool, and I thought, oh, that's in Greece right there, that
Yeah.
moment.
Yeah,
Same
no,
thought-
definitely.
I thought that when he has his hand like this and he turns around with the cigarette and looks at the camera and smiles, I was like, he kind of almost did that in this movie.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, not
and the scene with Annette in the back seat was just, I was like, oh,
Yeah.
so. oof.
Donna Pescow, who shows up in that Santa commercial.
Oh,
I said that in the text.
I didn't
yeah.
know that was Donna Pascal. Okay. I
Oh,
didn't know
yeah.
Yeah. And
Behind the counter.
Yeah.
in
And
the
she
long-
winks at winks
longer,
at him.
the longer version of the commercial because
Oh, she's not in the short
no,
version.
short version. She's not in it.
Wow.
I only saw the YouTube one.
The
Anyway,
1 minute version.
Yeah,
I've seen that,
She
yeah.
winks at him. He makes another stop and she winks at him.
And the other question was, I guess his mom and sister were in the movie. They like, does
Yeah.
he, Did he put them there or what?
Oh yeah, I'm sure he had something.
Didn't he do that in a lot of his movies, Joel?
Yeah, Ellen
Family
was in
well,
Ellen was in
was
Greece
there.
too. She was
Yeah.
in Greece too.
She was in Greece too. I thought she was in Greece.
Knew that joke was coming.
Sorry.
Yeah. So no, I enjoy it. It's such a, um, light bulb moment kind of movie and and it's a bit older of a coming of age movie, but still a good coming of age movie. So I like it. I'm giving it 3.5.
Wow, that's a big like.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I,
that's a big
I
one.
mean, the soundtrack gives it that extra
Oh my
quarter.
God, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We actually went to a Saturday Night Fever 30th anniversary party. Aim, what was it? At the Westbury Music Fair.
I was
Didn't you
with
come
you.
with us?
I
I
don't
think
know.
you were.
Yeah, that's
And it was the Tramps and Yvonne Elliman, and it was like a whole 3 hour. Aunt, was she not with us?
Amy was with us.
You were with us.
I had a great time.
obviously.
And
I
it was
felt
the 30th anniversary. Of course, the Bee Gees weren't there, but they had like a sound-alike Bee Gee group. Tavares was there.
Ooh.
BBGs.
Yeah, the She-Gees.
bad.
Yeah, and they did, the first act they kind of did their hits, and the second act was all the soundtrack.
Starting to come back to me
Yeah,
as having done that.
yeah.
Sure, Amy.
No, I
Yeah.
swear. Like
And they
way
shit
back
that-
in the filing cabinet.
At the Westbury Country Music.
Yes, at the Westbury Music Fair.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they flew Yvonne Elliman in from Hawaii
Right, yes.
Wow.
to do it. All right.
And Sherry was with us.
Yes, and
Oh, wow.
Sherry was with it.
Tavares!
Yes, because Tavares, she's from Boston, and Tavares was a group from Boston. All right, so Mark G,
Yo,
you have this John Travolta is not even the John Travolta from this movie.
It's the best picture I could find online. That's what they had up.
He looks better here than he does in the movie. He's getting better looking.
Wow, a little chunkier there for sure.
Maybe I like a dad bod.
This looks like either right before or right after Staying Alive when he
Mm.
hadn't lost the
It's-
25
I
pounds.
think it's after for sure.
Hmm.
Okay, so you were also too young to see this when it first came out.
I was 2.
That's what he said, too young.
Yeah.
Too young. And Grease
yeah.
too.
I think I saw it maybe 20 years ago, but I definitely watched the PG version and I didn't really remember it. Of course, I knew a lot of the music. So watching this again now is basically like watching it for the first time.
All right, let me just say, you remind me of one more thing with the music. My sister Kathy thought that the song was not because line dancing was so big now because of this. She thought it was staying in line, staying in line.
I remember.
That's funny. And so I'll tell you all right, so here's mine. I had no idea that Staying Alive, the song, was in this movie. I thought it was written specifically for the sequel. Is that crazy? I mean,
Yes.
Yeah, that is crazy.
no, it's
Yeah.
not. It's called
Yeah.
Staying Alive. It's the name of the movie. I had no idea it was in this.
From
Good
the
Lord,
start.
the scene in the beginning in his drawers was so 70s with his hair, the Farrah Fawcett poster, the
Oh
Bruce
my
Lee
God.
poster.
I
Yeah.
cannot tell you how many times I did that exact same thing.
That's funny. And Jesus, his family was more Italian than even Danielle's family. My God, it was very Italian. I was surprised at first by the super racist language when they first got to the club, but given the time it was filmed, I guess I shouldn't have been.
Yeah.
Then came
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to say it was acceptable, but it was acceptable.
it was what
The way you spoke to people. Yeah, it was. Yeah.
Yeah. Look what we did to Annie in 1982, 83.
yeah.
That was you.
That's-
I was always embarrassed by it.
Okay, then comes the best part of the movie, Saturday Night Titties. I was very surprised by that. I was not expecting it.
Well, because you had seen the PG version. No titties in that one.
No. I thought Travolta was a great dancer, but Stephanie less so. And his big solo dance halfway through was fantastic when he's rolling
Oh
on
my
the ground and
God.
doing all
Yeah,
that stuff.
amazing.
That was absolutely fantastic. I didn't buy the love connection. I thought they had no chemistry. And I at the end of the day, she didn't want him anyway, but I didn't.
Yeah, I don't think she's that good an actress, really.
Yeah, I wasn't impressed. The other two couples that they showed dancing at the big competition at the end were by far better than them. I don't know why they. I know I get that they were supposed to, the at least the Puerto Rican couple that was
Oh, you mean Cha Cha Di Gregorio? Yeah.
sure
Oh,
that they
part
kept
of
showing on
that
top.
dance was so from Greece. I was like, oh,
Hello.
yeah.
But it was they danced. The other two couples danced, and him and Stephanie did like some slow. I mean, it was almost like a slow dance. Like anybody could do that. It was not a good choice. I don't know why. I whatever. Wasn't impressed by it at all.
Well, you're supposed to see that there's racism
Yeah.
I
and
get
and what a good person his character was.
Yeah. To
I get all
say
that.
we didn't earn this. We
I
didn't
get
earn
all
it.
that, but
Yeah.
having shown him how good he can dance at what I just referenced in
As a
that
solo.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh,
solo, you would think that they would bring their A game, and that was not their A game. It was
Right.
almost like
Right.
they just anyway.
I think mostly that was her fault because she thought that's the way they should dance, and he didn't dance the way he dances.
Maybe. Anyway, then what the fuck with the gang rape? That that came out of left field, followed by Tony nearly forcing himself on Stephanie, and then calling her, as you said, Frank, a cunt afterward. So what a beautiful love story. I just I did not see that coming. It was kind of and I'll let everybody know that the boobs that I grab, I get consent for. Okay, right, Amy?
yeah. Although I didn't expect under the bra.
I don't know. Yeah, no, the ending just went. She got way too rapey. And my God, it was so obvious that the Google was deaf.
Oh, sure.
It was just. But so for me, it was good, not great, but it did keep my interest, despite its shortfalls. And I'm also going with 3 stars.
Yeah, that's what I said. Very melodramatic.
Yeah. Oh my God, when the bridge, the way she screamed was bizarre. It was so like it was weird. It was weird.
Yeah.
Joel, also too young to see this in the movie theater when it came out.
Yes, I was.
I was the only one who could get into this movie.
I was
I was
8
19.
or 9, I guess, at the time.
You were 8, yeah.
It
But
was
I saw it-
December of 1977.
Okay, so I would have been 8.
8.
Yeah, I don't do math. It's Sunday morning. I mean Monday morning. It's just.
Doesn't do days of the week very well either.
I don't. I probably saw this like in the early days of VHS cassettes, or cable.
I thought you were going to say WHT.
I wanted to say WHT, but I don't think it was on WHT because it was a Paramount movie. And
Now, you totally made me think, did we have WHT? I think we did.
in places where cable hadn't really arrived yet, it was like
Yeah.
the alternative.
Right.
For whatever it's worth. It starts off great. That opening, as you said, Frank, it really does
Classic.
everything. It is classic. It
Sets the tone.
Yep. It's
The thing that I've never seen anybody do in my lifetime was put 2 slices of pizza on top of each other.
Yeah.
I've
And,
never seen that in my lifetime.
Especially since the person behind the counter asked him 2. Yeah, 2. I'll take 2. As opposed to like more than that. Would you put?
Well, but I guess that's his usual thing. That's what he
I've done that
does.
before. I've done that before. I've never seen this movie.
Oh, wow.
You're just weird.
One on top of the other.
I've seen it. I've seen it done.
And then I'm not the fan of the folding of the pizza because then the oil drips out the back.
You have to fold the pizza.
It's called pizza. Who are you?
Jesus.
Oil drips out the back.
You
Horrible.
fold it, you go like this, you let it drip, and then you eat
Yes,
it.
there, a fellow New Yorker. Thank you, Amy.
That's what the paper plate's for.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah, it absorbs
Oil all over your hands.
Very disappointing.
What do you use, a knife and a fork?
Yes, seriously.
What are you, a Trump?
I was going to say that.
De Blasio did too.
What was that?
De Blasio would eat pizza with a knife and a fork.
De Blasio, that's Italian. Who the fuck does that as an Italian?
And
No?
he was the mayor of New York. They
Good
got
eating.
pizza.
Anyway, um, for me, it's it's kind of after that opening scene, it kind of floats downhill slowly after that.
Yeah, yeah,
Um, it's
definitely.
it's very much a product of its time, and that's both a good thing and a bad thing. It really gives you an insight into the '70s disco era, not just the music, but supposedly how people, younger
Yeah,
people.
and the minds of this particular sect in Brooklyn.
Yeah,
I'm sure those guys were there. I'm
yeah.
sure of it.
Um, and it's well made. It's definitely well acted on the part of John Travolta. He deserved that Oscar nomination. I think
Wait, who did he lose to?
let's see, 77.
Keep talking, I'll look it up.
Annie Hall won Best Picture, so
Talking, I'll
Who
look it
won
up.
Best Picture?
Annie Hall.
Should have
Oh,
been
it
Star
wasn't
Wars.
Woody Allen.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, it was Richard Dreyfuss, right?
Oh,
Oh, that makes sense.
yeah, for
Yeah.
Close
Goodbye, girl.
Encounters.
Close Encounters.
Goodbye, girl.
no,
Ah.
yeah. My brain's going Close Encounters is wrong. It was, and then I'm trying to
Goodbye,
remember.
girl.
It was
Goodbye,
my
girl.
brain's going. Whose life is it anyway? No, it wasn't.
Yeah, it was Richard Dreyfuss. Goodbye, girl.
Yeah,
Oh.
no. In hindsight, I give the Oscar to Mr. Travolta for sure.
Well, that's fair. It was. I haven't seen the movie in over a decade. And because partially because it hasn't come up in the National Film Registry yet. It's
Is it on there? It's on there though, isn't it? Yeah.
It was inducted in 2010, and we're about to start in the new year the 2007 inductees. So, maybe we'll get to it by the end of 2025 or the middle of 2026. At which
You
point
can watch it again.
I'll watch it again, and we'll probably also throw in Staying Alive for shits and giggles.
That is not a shit or a giggle.
I
Wait.
had
Sorry.
I had forgotten.
Sasha's having a nightmare right now, and he's making little beep, beep.
Aw.
I'd forgotten some of the early performances of certain people in such tiny roles, but it's like,
Oh.
oh, Denny Dillon, oh, Fran Drescher, oh, Robert Costanzo, oh,
Fran Drescher, yeah.
Yeah.
How did I miss her?
All New Yorkers.
yeah.
Fran Drescher was Connie, the girl who came up to him at the club and danced with him, and he gave her some kind of shitty comment, and that was the end of it.
Yeah, he
Yeah,
basically,
Yeah, I remember
That was
that.
that was leading up to his big solo number.
Yeah.
He's like,
Yeah.
get this to her.
But Denny Dillon cracked me up.
Who
Yeah,
was
She
Jenny
was
Dillon?
so funny. She was the one. Oh, can I have your autograph? Oh, let me just
Yeah.
sweat, Richard.
Oh, I didn't
And then he
realize that was
danced with her like a pity dance.
yeah.
Like, oh my God, Tony Manero.
Um,
It's so funny. Oh my God, she cracked me up.
but the movie does have a lot of problematic things from today's vantage point. As Mark said, it gets a little bit too rapey at the end.
Rapey. Yeah.
And the misogyny in the film is
But again,
no, I know.
I'm not so sure that wasn't going on.
I'm saying it is a
Frank,
record.
it was going on. You're
It was
in
going on.
rose-tinted
Yeah.
glasses if you don't think it was
No.
through the 80s and 90s and 2000s.
Yeah.
What I'm
yeah.
saying is, looking
So-
back at it, it
Yeah.
becomes somewhat problematic. I'm not sure if it's a hindrance or not to the film itself at this point. There are some movies where you look back at it and it's like, oh yeah, that's wrong, but it was of the time and it's not affecting how I watch the movie. Whereas
Right.
movies,
Right.
it's like, oh, this is definitely affecting how
I think this is a bigger discussion because, again, all the complaints about the black characters in Gone with the Wind,
Yeah.
that is how they were treated then. You're looking at it with today's eyes. However you think it's inappropriate now, it's appropriate then.
correct.
And I feel the same way here. As much as it's inappropriate now, this was what was going on in 1977.
Oh,
Right,
the
and I-
misogyny, yes. The what's his name? His buddy who was having sex with the girl in the back seat and then calling his friend over to go, and she's crying and saying no. That wasn't. I don't think that would be commonplace back then. That's not
But
misogyny.
I
I'm sure
think
it
you're
happened.
wrong.
I'm
Maybe
sure
you
it
need to be
happened.
a woman to think that absolutely happened.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm sure that kind of thing happened all the time.
Yeah.
because you know, again, right, being a girl, which I'm not. Nobody.
Okay. Sure.
You know, you wanted to be accepted, you wanted to go along, and then you realize it was demeaning to you. At some level, you realize, okay, no, this is not what I wanted. So, I mean, look at Donna Pescow. I mean, that's so sad. She so wants to be accepted by him, and then she feels, okay, this is the only way I'm going to get accepted. I'm going to do this, and then she realizes, yeah, no, this is not the
You know
right
what?
thing.
And it was funny that she had like no girlfriends,
Yeah.
Mm.
like nobody around her to.
Yeah, yeah. Sorry, Joel.
That's okay. And the nice thing is at least she got her own sitcom later on. So
Yeah.
um
Who's she in?
It's a
Angie, it
different
was called.
Angie.
it's a
She played
different
it.
world. It's a
Yeah.
different world.
No,
It's
that's a different
No,
sitcom.
that's a different show.
No, that was the song, right? We come. The theme song is "We Come
Oh yes,
from
yes,
Different
yes, yes,
Worlds,"
yes, yeah.
sung by
I don't remember. It was the
Maureen
70s.
McGovern.
Yeah.
Oh, The Morning After.
The
She
morning
sang that?
after, yeah.
Or We May Never Love Like This Again.
Come to each other from different.
It all brings it back to the side.
Yes, of course.
Yes.
All right, so Joel, yes, so yeah, problematic.
It's yeah, but you know, I'm gonna give it 3.25 stars. It really, I think it holds an important place in cinematic history still. I think for the most part, a lot of it still holds up okay. The story is what the story is. It's you know, it flounders in spots as well. And it's like, you know, some of the stuff that's in there, you kind of question it. You have to question it a little bit until you get to the end and you start to realize why certain things are in there.
Yeah, where we're
Not as-
going, where we're going.
Yeah, it's not as prevalent, but yeah, so I'm just gonna leave it at that.
Yeah, and John Travolta's Oscar nomination was the only one for the film. None of the music got nominated, which
Wow.
a big travesty, of course. But yeah.
I
As
don't-
far as yeah, Travolta. I'm sorry. This was a beautiful, beautiful vehicle for him. AIM. Now you had seen it, obviously, PG version.
Yeah, you know, the more I think of it, the more I wonder if I ever saw the R-rated version, at least. Because I didn't even remember seeing this as an adult, you know, like, oh, let me rewatch this. I didn't have a VCR until the mid 80s when you taught me how to put it together. And I don't recall buying this. Maybe I rented it and finally saw the R-rated version. I have no idea. There's very little of the movie I even remember, and minus the dance and the falling off the bridge.
All right, wait, I have to put a little asterisk now. Amy said to you, help me put it together. The VCR, the first time she had it, I actually drew a little diagram of how to connect it to the TV for her.
Yeah,
so
I
she
could
can-
totally picture you drawing it at the bagel store. Red goes here, yellow goes there.
All right, go on.
Um, I don't remember. I didn't should have taken notes. I was thinking a lot of stuff when Annie spoke that I wanted to say, but now I don't remember. I did love every dance sequence. That could have gone. That could have been the whole movie for me, especially when they started doing the line dancing. I thought I would love to go to a wedding and do like a pop-up version of one of these songs as a group.
Right,
Loved it.
right.
I
And
remember
it was always so beautiful because because they do it every single week. They all knew the steps and they knew when they were
Yeah,
doing
it
it.
was
It was
great.
beautiful
Yeah.
to watch.
Good
Beautiful to
point.
watch.
Yeah. I do remember owning the album, and back in the day, you had the lyrics written out on either on the back cover or in the opening. So I remember memorizing the words to Staying Alive because you can't understand anything they're saying, but I know all the words to Staying Alive, and they're such weird words. I was singing it along. It's saying that.
Right, because they're British.
Yeah. I did find some of the cinematography when he was dancing was fabulous, but like Annie, you said, I also noticed the below and shooting up, and so much of that while he's getting dressed. I mean, he was hot, but it's like enough with this. Let's move on with these weird camera angles and just watching him constantly getting ready. So I thought it was kind of slow.
But that was part of the ritual.
I know, but we didn't need to keep seeing it over and over.
Oh, yes, we did.
I'm talking from the film's point of view. I think a lot of the scores here are based in nostalgia, and I'm gonna give it more of an honest stars, and it gets the extra quarter because of this fucking soundtrack. So I'm going with 2 3/4 stars.
Okay,
Wow, the
I
lowest
heard.
star.
I'm going with. What'd you
What?
say?
Two,
I heard.
2
I'll
and
give it.
3/4.
Okay.
Just a bit on the soundtrack, because Frank, you mentioned why none of the songs were nominated for an Academy Award. I'm pretty sure it's because even though they were used in the film and commissioned for the film, they weren't written for the film. They were tracks that the Bee Gees had already started working on
Yeah.
for another album. So a song has to be written for.
I would think Night Fever was specifically written.
No,
They were already working on stuff, so
they should have lied.
they should have lied.
They have Oscars now.
Exactly.
Yeah, sure. And they'd have to take them away after Sergeant Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band.
I don't get it.
I don't get it either.
Because they were in that movie.
They're in the
It sucked.
movie.
It
Sergeant
sucked.
Pepper. It's going to
But
be
they
on.
didn't write it.
It's
I mean,
now on
they
my
didn't write any of
2026
those songs.
list. So
It was all the Beatles songs.
yeah, I know.
Sure.
All right, that's it for us. Saturday Night Fever is on Prime, but only for the rest of the year. It leaves Prime in 12 days. Next
We
week,
finally got it scheduled right.
Yeah,
Good job.
yeah.
next week, we are all, or wait, some of us already have. One of us is going to the movie this week to see Wicked.
In an effort to stay relevant.
Yeah, because, I am the one trying to keep us relevant in this group. Thank you, Katie. All right, that's it. I'm Frank Gaffney. Go watch a movie. Maybe even revisit this one. Happy holidays.
Happy holidays.
Happy holidays. Did you turn the damn thing off?
No.